Hi everyone. So I'm doing a video right now to be able to record myself on camera, but I want to be able to talk about what it's like working for Amazon. I've only started a couple of weeks ago, so just bear with me, and the whole process. I mean, it is something that it isn't for everybody, but at the same time, I also think that it's important that people should try at least once in their lives. Amazon is a really big company. There's a lot of warehouses that are being produced everywhere nationwide. I don't know about internationally, but there are more warehouses that are being produced. So you can either work as a warehouse associate, you can do a pick and stage where you go and put all the packages together for the drivers, or you could be the driver. So in the mornings, the first time they start is at 9:30, and I believe that they start at like somewhere between 11:30 to 11:45. So there's different time slots for you to be able to come with your truck and be able to go and gather up your packages. You have about 15 minutes to go and put everything together and load it up to your van. But after that, you wait until the marshal whistles and lets you know that you can start heading out. Again, this is something that I'm still in kind of the works of like getting into the rhythm of, but so far I seem to really like it, and I really enjoy doing what I do. I feel like it's really important that, as our young generation, and I'm not speaking just for young generation, I'm talking about all people, all sorts. I think that a job like this fits anybody, especially if you like have the mindset to work. You have the mindset to prepare yourself for peak season when you have like 300, 350, or even 400 packages. It could be crazy. And if you can mentally prepare yourself for that, especially knowing that Thanksgiving and Christmas is around the corner, you're going to do just fine. But yeah, this job is really convenient because the warehouse that I work at, they have eight DSPs. I'm assuming that every warehouse for Amazon Hub has eight DSPs, which means delivery service provider. It's a third contract party that signs a contract with Amazon saying that they would like to either rent a fleet of vans or have their own fleet of vans, but would like to work with Amazon to be able to deliver packages. So I work with one DSP. I'm not sure if I should talk about it, but maybe at a later date. But I do work for one DSP out in Edison, and I really love it so far. The crew is great. A lot of the team members have been there from 3 years to 7 years. They're helpful. So let me just say this is that when you first get hired, technically you have to go and have your driver license. I believe they ask for your social security card. You have to wait for your background check to come back, which could take 3 to 5 days, depending on the DSP. And then you, after that, have to go and get a urine test, which they will assign you like a QR code through your email, and you go to your nearest place to go and do it. I can't think of the top of my head right now. It'll come back to me. But anyways, you go to that facility or that location. You scan the QR code from them for them, and they'll do it, and then they'll ask you to go do a urine test. And then of course you're gonna have to wait for another like 3 to 4 days. It can even take up to a week. So don't stress about it. Don't think too much into it. Try and keep yourself busy and other things. And in my case, I couldn't wait. So on the flip side, there's going to be another video I'll be producing later, but I Ubered, and I'll talk about how I made my first 1500 in a week. And yes, I made 1500. But that's going to be a story for another day. But yeah, so after when you're done doing the urine test, and they're going to call you, they're going to ask you to come in. They're going to say that in your email, check your email, which is Zoho Mail. It's an email address specifically for Amazon. And they're going to say day one and day two is the days that you're going to be coming in to watch videos. I believe it was like 8 to 10 hours of videos, but it's pretty simple, straightforward. Yes, it's boring, but you'll get through it and try to get the most out of that training as much as you can. Um, my advice to you, or for anybody who's new at delivery driving, is to watch YouTube videos like myself or other people. My favorite person to watch is Chris Sang. Chris Sang, Sang. If you look him up, you'll see that he'll like show you like the different routes. He'll show you like how he does it. He'll show you how to organize. He'll show you how to load all your stuff into the van and how to organize it. He'll give you tips, hacks, all that. And it's great. And he was actually my inspiration. I've always wanted to do it, but he inspired me to want to do better. So, my advice is to watch that before you go for day one and day two of your training. That way, if you have any questions, right there is your two instructors. You'll usually have like one or two instructors. One is teaching, the other one is in the back end, just, being there to kind of oversee everything and make sure that you are not having any issues with your tablet. So, this is a thing that Amazon has been recently doing. Luckily for me, I was part of the orientation that just started this new thing where they teach you the ins and outs of how to go about your route. And they give you step by step. Years ago, when they first started this, which I don't even know when, but when they first started this, they kind of just assumed that you'll figure it out as you go. But doing that made a lot of mistakes. A lot of people quit. A lot of people felt burnt out. A lot of people, weren't doing the best they could in their performance. So this is something that is really important to, convey to new people coming in or even to the regulars that, protocols are put in place for a reason. And I think that maybe that's the reason why that these videos are so long in their training is because they want you to do well. They want you to do well, and they also want to make it easier for you too, so you don't have to guess on what you're supposed to be doing. Sometimes when you get to an apartment, for example, or like a business building, you don't know exactly what to do, and not everyone is able to come up with like an idea on the spot, especially because it's a new game for them. It's a new scenario, new case, but they cover these things in the training. So pay attention and, ask questions. There are no stupid questions. What else? So then after you're done with that, your HR or your DSP is going to call you and they're going to let you know what day you're going to do your ride along. It's only one day, so just make sure that's another thing too. I'm not going to put the person under the bus, but the person I went with, her and we didn't really get along in the beginning, only because there was a language barrier and I wanted to do well. My personality is that I am very hands-on, I'm very visual. So like the best way for me to learn, especially because, I want to do this the proper way, is to see another person do their job and shadow them. And then after a few, I'd say 10 to 15 stops, delivering their packages and seeing how they do it, then I'll take over. And that's including the driving too. So, like, I want to be able to see. I want to do everything the correct way. I want to make sure that I'm not being infracted for anything, which they talk about later, that infraction is something that is done when you're driving the vehicle. So, if you're speeding, if you're doing hard brakes, if you are not stopping at the stop sign, like say if you stop at the line, that's still considered an infraction. You have to be literally right before it so that the way the camera can see both the sign as well as the line. I know it's ridiculous, right? But it is what it is. And you also have to make sure that if you are getting out of the parking lot, you have to make sure to always leave your hazard lights on, as when you come back later after you're done with your route, you turn on your hazard lights on again. And you need to make sure that you only go from 5 to 10 miles per hour in and out of the parking lot. It's very like regimented in terms of the rules, but it's for safety, and I get that. It's part of the company rule. It's also, to make sure that none of the vehicles are being damaged as well as the people getting hurt. Oh, and another thing too is that say if the speed limit on your Rivian van, because most vans are being replaced with Rivians, they're electric vans. Make sure that you don't always follow what it says on the dashboard. It'll say the speed limit is say 40 and you actually in real time are driving on a road that is not 45, it's actually 25. So just make sure you pay attention to your surroundings. Make sure make sure that you're watching the speed limit on the streets versus on your dashboard. 75-80% of the time is correct, but that other 20%, you want to be careful because lately there's been a lot of cops and they're patrolling, they're making sure that everyone is doing what they're supposed to, but you also want to make sure you're safe and you also don't want to get in trouble with the law. All right, so um bear with me, this is like my first video. I am doing this for myself. I'm taking accountability for producing one video a week, and it's nerve-wracking, but at the same time, I'm sure I'll get used to it once I keep seeing myself on camera, getting comfortable with the camera. I think anybody can do this, and I've had conversations with people about how they like the fact that I give like a lot of information. So I figure why not produce it so that way other people can understand and expect, what is happening and if it's the right fit for them, with the job. Same thing with Uber. As a female driver, it's something that a lot of women are worried about because they see a lot on the news of what's going on. Again, it's something that I feel that it's important to discuss and pay forward with other people so that way everybody can understand what they're getting themselves into. So, but I'm going to discuss that in another video. Um, Yeah, I don't want to hold up on the video. I'm just gonna like keep it at this for right now. I think this is good information. Um, when I did my first, oh yeah, okay. So when I did my ride along, they're going to expect you to load everything up onto the van. Yes, your ride along is going to help you load it up, but let her know that either A, you kind of have an idea of what you want to do, or B, just go along with her or him and see how they arrange everything. So that way, when you go on loan, which is the day after, you're going to make sure that you do what is the right protocol. Efficiency is everything, timing is everything, because again, they only give you 15 minutes. So yeah, so when you do your first nursery route, which is by yourself, it's going to be scary. It's going to be nerve-wracking. You're going to make sure that you do everything right. Before you do anything, once you get into your van, you have your bag, you'll have your flashlight, you'll have 2 cell phones, I believe 2 chargers and cords, so that way you can plug it into the Rivian so you can charge your charger and your phone. I hear people outside. There's a door like right here. I live in an apartment complex, so yeah, so once you get into the car, you're gonna have 2 apps that you're gonna turn on. Make sure both of your phones are on. The work phones, they'll give you 2 work phones. Make sure they're both on. They take a while to load, so give them a moment to load. Once it turns on, use one of them that is really good. Make sure, because one's slow, one's fast. Use the one that's a faster phone. Upload your Flex account, upload your Mentor app. Your Mentor app is going to be tracking you on your driving, so your heart brakes, your accelerations, your speeding, if you're doing things you're not supposed to on the road. It's very specific. I'll break it down in another video, but yeah, so your Mentor app does all that. It's like a biometric data that like tracks you, and automatically, if at the end of your route you do things that add up your infractions, it will give you an automated message to let you know that you sped, for example, or that you did way too many hard brakes. And your DSP is going to be responsible for implementing any disciplinary action. That could mean you losing your route for the day, and you might only be able to work 2 hours and helping on the floor, helping other people load their packages into their car, and you only get 2 hours of work day. That's somewhat like a suspension, according to Amazon. So just be mindful of how you drive. So anyways, after you upload your Mentor app, you make sure that you log into your Flex account, and your Flex account is the one that you're going to be able to see your itinerary for the day. It'll tell you, example, that you have 155 stops and you're going to do about 275 packages. Okay, and then it'll give you like a breakdown, and it'll also show you like different tote numbers. Make sure you follow the tote number and make sure you follow the color. Me personally, when I went to go load up my van, I went order by order. So, say if I have, I'm sorry, say if I have like my thing here, right? It's like a tray, it's a cart thing. Well, the cart is gonna go this way. Like there's boxes. Oh, I wish I had the thing to be able to show you. But basically, it's 1, 2, 3 totes, 1, 2, 3 totes, 1, 2, 3 totes. If that makes sense? So then it's gonna go this way. But sometimes it doesn't go in that order because warehouse associates, they work from, I believe, at 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. until like 11 in the morning. It's crazy how they manage to work all night because they're picking, collecting, putting all things together, and then they have to stage it for the delivery routes for the drivers at like 9:30 in the morning. So it's mind-boggling, and I think they should be paid more. That's my personal take. So yeah, so just make sure that you follow your itinerary, you follow the tote number, and that tote number is going to be the order in which you're going to be going for your navigation. So everything is, pretty much efficient as long as you follow your itinerary and make sure you match it and you organize how you want it to in your van. Everybody has their own way of doing it. So do I. I I have a workstation. I'm huffing and puffing because like I'm gonna get better at these videos. Eventually, I'm gonna probably have like a little screen in the corner somewhere and show you that how to set things up, and you can take my advice or not, but it's my way of doing it. So basically, I have like the shelves are on like both sides, okay? And say if my driver's side is here, passenger side is here, this whole side is going to be totes. But near closer to the driver and passenger side, so like near the front, is my working station. I'll have like boxes here, and then I'll have this side all the packages and envelopes. And the overflow, which means like heavy, big, bulky boxes, they're gonna go on top shelf. So there's a top shelf, there's a bottom shelf, and towards the front is where I'm gonna keep the small boxes, and then over here is gonna be packages and envelopes and unknown envelopes. So that's gonna go over here. And you want to make sure that when you go and do, like your organization, you make sure you put everything in order. Make sure you do all the organizations on your first stop. Either your first stop or, when you get to like the closest Wawa, Quick Check, or even McDonald's. I like going there too because it's like closer to my location of where I'm going to be doing my delivery. I'll pull into the parking lot. I'll park my car. Make sure you turn on your hazard lights so people see your van. You'd be surprised. But yeah, turn on your hazard lights. Make sure you're in park before you go and take off your seatbelt, because again, that's also an infraction. Just remember that. That's a big one. They always talk about that. Is that people tend to not park their car and they're already taking off their seatbelt. So turn off or park your Rivian, and then take off your seatbelt. And yeah, so that's I wouldn't say that's it. I want to cover more, but again, this video is like 19 minutes long. I am just kind of like giving you a glimpse of exactly what, I've experienced already. But yeah, so anyways, oh yeah. Again, I'm gonna just do a short video, but this is gonna be the last advice I'm gonna give you. So when you go and organize this packages on your first stop, you make sure that there's like a yellow sticker. I forgot the name of it, but it's a sticker that has numbers on it, usually like a 3-digit number, and you're going to use that number to put the order in which things go. So I go from the lowest to the highest because the lowest one is going to be the one that's the first one to go, usually. But yeah, if you put things in order, same thing with the boxes. The boxes doesn't have to be in order, but the boxes at least have to be facing in the direction of you, so that way you could just visually see it and just grab it, right? And same thing with your overflow. Your overflow needs to make sure that it's facing you in the direction of which you're standing, so that way you know exactly what to grab. Sometimes the stickers are kind of like all over the place on the box. Very easy to remove the sticker and place it in the direction in which you can see it. Another thing I've seen, and I've seen some other YouTubers do this, they take a Sharpie and they write on the box. So that way it's big, it's large, and they know exactly what to grab. What else? Okay, so that's it. I'm, done for the video for right now. And as much as I would like to share more, I also know that it's all about repetition. It's all about practice. It's all about like how I'm doing this video right now. It's going to get easier for me. It's also going to be something that I feel that I'm probably going to end up doing more and more. But as far as, the deliveries go and like the tips, the pro hacks and stuff like that, I'm going to be very repetitive as I continue uploading more videos. So just continue watching. If you'd like to see more content, just subscribe to me, follow, make comments. I'm all about feedback. So, whatever you'd like to do to, I guess be a part of a community where we can all like work together, because I truly believe that Amazon is a great company to work for. I really do. I mean, with all the information that I've heard, both good and bad, I really feel like from deep down that I think this is a great opportunity to learn about yourself doing Amazon. And you get a feel like you feel good doing it by yourself. You work by yourself, you have the freedom, you can listen to music, you create your own schedule, you create your own ability to like do however you want, just as long as you finish delivering your packages. And then you call your dispatch, let them know that you're all done, and you may or may not help another person, because there's probably people who are behind. So they'll ask you if you'd like to do a rescue. Me, I love to do rescues. I like to help other people, because God forbid if I'm falling behind and I want to get going, then I know someone has my back in doing that. But yeah, so thank you for watching. I really appreciate you and I love you guys. I hope you guys have a great day.